to the police. All around, especially in town. No one couldn't walk alone. Town was like a battle zone. But nowadays and so, I am not.
Pops and Daps, ladies and gentlemen, it's a new year and we have Inspector Michelle Lewis representing the TTPS on now. Good morning to you and Happy New Year, Inspector.
Good morning to you
Look, she
both.
blushing, look at that.
Happy New Year to you both. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here in this new year 2024. On behalf of the Commissioner of Police Executive and all of Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we wish Trinidad and Tobago the very best for this year and, of course, TTT Now morning program.
We appreciate it very much, and all the best to you.
It is the best morning program. I listen to you even when I'm not
Well,
on.
look, trouble, so we can't bad talk you in here,
You
girl.
can't bad talk me, because I always locked on.
Nice, I love that. So, well, we have entered in officially, as of today,
Yes.
we've entered into the
Yes.
Carnival season.
Yes.
Now, the Feast of Epiphany passed over the weekend, and now, boom, we're in Carnival.
Yes.
So I imagine, I mean, we've been seeing lots of reports coming out about the police. We've seen good, bad, indifferent, right? But I know that as we get ready for Carnival, there's some safety tips that you would like to share with the nation
Yes.
to be as best prepared as we can for Carnival.
Correct. So, yeah, Christmas is out the window now.
Mm-hmm.
Trinidad and Tobago fully into Carnival mode.
Proper.
Yes, 100%.
And so, Carnival Commission, pantry, bring everybody. That's where we are this time.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, understanding the culture of Trinidad and where we are, going with the acronym of SMART
Okay.
this year for Carnival 2024.
Talk to me. How we
And
being
that,
smart?
of course, means, so you're looking at the SMART. Safety measures aimed at reducing threat.
Okay. I
There
like
two
this.
A's in the middle there, but that's all right. They
Aimed.
could be smart.
Smart.
Safety measures aimed at reducing threat.
Right.
Okay.
And so this morning we're looking at smart parenting.
Okay.
And so because, Carnival Feds have started, parents,
Yeah.
guardians, persons responsible for children are going to be a little slack, and we want to encourage persons not to let your guard down and not to be irresponsible where children are concerned. So we're looking at smart parenting, and this is what we're going to capture during the entire Carnival season. Of course, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, during the Carnival season as well, you can look out for our safety tips. You will see police officers throughout every division handing out safety tips to members of the public. You may see it in a mailbox. It is there for you to read and acquaint yourself with some of the tips that you may not get on the program, but you can always have and share with other persons.
Right.
So you will see those there.
I like
so we're looking
this.
so we're looking at parenting, safe, smart parenting. In the first instance, of course, Carnival Fest, you want to go out and that kind. Ensure that your children are well supervised. Ensure that you do not leave children with children. Ensure that you do not leave children to supervise children or to supervise elderly
Older, yeah.
persons who cannot help themselves. Right? Negligence is still a criminal offense under the Children's Act, and so persons can be charged for such offenses. Of course, prevention is always better than cure. One of the things also we hear taking place through schools, through principals and teachers, is that the attendance rate for some children reduces. And of course, that is impacted sometimes by the fact that they have no passage to come to school because the parent would have spent the money on something else. So smart parenting, being responsible, continuing as an adult, as a responsible parent or guardian, to do what you are required to do as a parent to ensure that the life of the members of the household is not impacted.
Wow.
Even as we have said that, we also know that some parents, some households are impacted where groceries are concerned, and because of the fact that Carnival causes persons to attend more events than they can financially able to, as we would have heard from the person who came in this morning, that you must be able to manage your finances. And even though it may not be a criminal offense in the first instance,
Right.
when your children are deprived, it is taken away because children have rights. And as a parent and a guardian, a child has a right to comfortable home, safety, food, clothing, shelter, and all that goes with it. And so when children are neglected, or these rights and these requirements are not met, then it puts the mind of a child in a position where they're not able to learn, and they look to a gang leader or someone else to fulfill those needs.
This is, okay, so one of the things that's striking me with this morning with this conversation is that there are threats indoors and outdoors as
Yes,
well.
yeah.
So we've been speaking about indoors, and you've just sort of started that transition as to company that one may keep and what influence may or may not come. But can we also shift to, particularly for Carnival, where outdoors we have Kiddies Carnival going on and so much more. And one of the things that we see every year is, unfortunately, a child standing up looking for mommy and daddy.
Yes.
How do we avoid things like that happening?
So the parent or the guardian or the group that is taking those children out, ensure that the child has a tag, a name tag with the child's name in it, the parent's name in it, a contact number and address. Of course, this name tag shouldn't be on the outside, but should be on the inside, because you don't want a stranger calling out to the child and the child answers his or her name. So in the first instance, that is what we want. We also want persons do not allow children to go to use convenient spaces unattended, like the toilet areas and that kind of thing. Ensure that an adult go with that child or ward. Additionally,
Can
yes.
I just want to ask in terms of that, like as a father, if I take my daughter out to a public place,
Yes.
I'm not welcomed in the female bathroom to
Correct.
go with her.
Yeah.
What do you suggest in those situations?
Yeah, we see a lot now of toilets that are neither male or female, so they are just facilities that one can use, and so the child can go in if the child is old enough, not too much of a toddler, and you can just stand outside and wait for the child, as the case may be.
Okay.
If it is of another sex, sometimes you may more see a mother taking a little boy than a father.
Yeah, no,
taking
women
a
is get
little
with
boy.
anything in any bathroom. They could go in anyone, but if a man wants to walk in the
Well,
female
remember-
bathroom, it tends to be a little awkward.
Yeah, it will be no arguments there.
Yeah, yeah.
It
Facts
will
are
be a
facts.
little awkward. Additionally, when as a child grow older, you may have a teen, they may want to go to their school event or school panorama or whatever type of event. And some parents allow children to go activities in the nighttime as well. So when your child or ward go out to those activities, have a conversation with the child that drinking as a minor, even though it is not a criminal offense,
Wait, drinking as a minor is not a criminal
it's not a
offense?
criminal offense.
You lie.
It's not a criminal
Oh boy.
offense.
So that's interesting. I
This
didn't know
is
that.
fascinating.
Okay.
But the sale of alcohol and the sale of cigarette to children.
Right.
is a
So the
criminal
sale of it is a problem, but the
Sale of it.
consummation of it is not
Not
a
a
problem.
problem.
It's not a problem. So it's a conversation that you have to have with children. So a child cannot be charged for it, but the adult
Yes.
can be.
For the sale.
For the
Not the
sale or for the
consumption.
giving. But the
So
child
you get
drinking
charged for the
it.
given too?
Yeah, so the consumption, so if it is that, because you have parents or persons who send a child to go and buy a cigarette or go and
Yeah.
buy alcohol or
Okay,
take
okay.
a drink or something. So anything that causes harm or injury to the child, remember there are laws that are open. So if it is that it is something that is going to cause harm or injury to the child, then it can be classified in a particular part of a criminal offense and the person
Charged
should be
accordingly.
charged accordingly. Yeah.
All right, that definitely
Yeah.
has stuck out in my
So-
mind when you say that. These consumptions specifically.
Yeah. So even with alcohol, sometimes young people drink and they engage in certain activities. It's important that your child understand that even though they may find themselves in an embarrassing situation, that they can still call you for help.
Yes.
That if it is they fell out with someone, that they can still call mommy and they can still call daddy, regardless of where you are, to come for them. And it's important that they understand that you are there for them regardless of the situation, and that they would not turn to the hands of someone else and, of course, find themselves in a worse situation where they may be sexually violated or something else.
Definitely agree. This is why open lines of communication is so important.
Most definitely. Now, I want to shift across a little bit. I know we're talking about child safety. I also want to talk a little bit about adult safety, because we've been seeing a lot of, the conversation is public. We can't deny that the conversation has been happening about how do we make sure that we stay safe, tourists coming into the country, all that sort of good stuff, and Carnival happening. And I saw the press release from the Commissioner of Police that said that, one of the things going to happen, more foot patrols in the Woodbrook area when they have major events happening, things like that. One of the things that she also mentioned in the press release would have been encouraging bar owners and club owners to be able to hire extra police, so they have a stronger police presence. But the one part of the press release that was confusing to me is the inclusion of the re-establishing or restarting of the wrecking in Woodbrook and environs. Can you clarify for me how is that directly related to crime efforts or efforts to reduce crime?
Okay, so where you have the traffic violations,
Right.
and you'll have persons who will be parked indiscriminately. Sometimes, for example, when vehicles are parked and there's a congestion, the police or anybody for that matter are not able to pass freely. Where, for example, there are persons who do not adhere to the law at all, then there is a possibility that some kind of criminal activity can take place. If you were to look at, for example, the wrecking service that you spoke of and how the removal of vehicles from off the road and how that would assist. Sometimes when vehicles are parked at a particular area, persons, you have the offense of larceny motor vehicle,
Right.
you have the offense of robbery motor vehicle. And so when persons are parked in areas that are not designed for parking, in a secluded or remote area, then the vehicle can be broken into and other criminal offenses can happen to the person in particular, some sexual offenses or some kind of assault or something else. So where persons, for example, park according to law, it aids in reduction of crime and their personal safety.
Understood. Something to keep in mind. I mean, that definitely is a motivating factor, along with also turning up and seeing your car is not there anymore. Definitely not something anybody wants to experience. I've seen it so many times on the avenue, especially with tourists who have come in, and you just pull up and it's not there anymore. Let's not do that this year, guys.
All right. So,
But
well, give
a
us.
lot of events, a lot of promoters try to have parking areas
Yeah.
where, you know, it's
Secured parking.
Yeah, secure parking for your vehicles. And sometimes it's a good idea to carpool or to get someone who can drop you, a safe driver, and can come back for you so you don't have that stress.
Exactly. That's so important. Designate as well, because don't drink and drive.
All right. Inspector, you want to give us one more safety tip for Carnival before we wrap up?
Sure. Choose a topic. I'm giving you a choice this morning.
You're giving me the choice?
On smart parenting. On smart parenting. So I know we have touched on quite a lot. We have touched on children and parenting, and we've touched on school. We've touched on events that happen where children may attend. We've touched on carnival events and that kind of thing. Of course, do not leave children home by themselves and that kind of thing. So there's a whole area in relation to smart parenting, meaning that you have to be responsible and continue to be a responsible adult, guardian, parent, where children are concerned, to ensure that the carnival season is not impacting on them in a negative way. And
Most
so that
definitely.
acronym SMART and smart parenting, and that acronym that you're going to hear from the TTPS during the entire carnival season, we want you to be mindful of it. And of course,
Safety, what is it?
safety measures aimed at reducing threats.
Safety measures aimed at reducing threats. That is what we are going forward with for 2024. Inspector Michelle Lewis with us this morning on Now, sharing Carnival safety tips. Remember that the TTPS is here every single Monday. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a few moments on Now. Thank you, Inspector.
Thank you for having us once again.
To know love and peace. Let's take hands to the police. All around, especially in town. No one couldn't walk alone. Tongue was like a battle zone. But nowadays in so